Hi, this is Aster, and this will be like an asexual special edition video. I debated for a long time whether to make this video or not because I'm not entirely comfortable giving away that much information about myself, like this intimate information. But I also realized that there should be at least a decent amount of people who are transmasculine or like trans in general, and asexual and maybe autistic as well. And those three are the facts for me. And they definitely, these three ingredients made more difficult for me to understand myself because I will I will delve deeper into that. So I just thought that if this video can help for anybody who's like having doubts or don't know what causes what, um, so the need to help others. Because I saw some videos covering some aspects of this experience, but never this three holy trinity. So I will be actually using as a guide my diary that I wrote in my original like natal language, mother tongue. So yeah, in Hungarian. But I think it will help me keep being on track. So the first thing I want to say that I am still asexual. T didn't change it and cannot change sexuality. It changed enough things for me that I realized that some things were not due to asexuality but other stuff. But T doesn't change your sexuality. And I am still asexual because when I look at someone, I do not feel sexual attraction. So that was basically like asexual means that a person doesn't, or just by condition or very rarely feels sexual attraction towards somebody. It doesn't mean that they cannot participate in sex or enjoy sex. They are just not aroused by the other person. It's as far as I understand it, it's not. So I don't know how to explain it because I've never been someone who's not asexual, but as I learned and I talked with my brother who's definitely allosexual and fortunately opening up to talk about it with him, he has a really high sex drive. And my understanding is that if someone finds someone hot, they can imagine themselves being involved in a sexual act with them. That is not the case for me. That wears me out. I can be attracted to other people in various ways, like aesthetic attraction. I like their style. I like how I always explained it as how I like a sculpture in a museum. Like I can appreciate art. I see them as a painting or a sculpture or like marble. I do not see them as people who I can have that kind of interaction with. I would love them to be in the corner of my room so I can look at them whenever and just be in awe of how they look like. That's what aesthetic attraction means to me. Like it can be outer style, like the clothes and the jewelry and the accessories. It can be how they look, as in face shape or hair color, hair texture, just the way they carry themselves, like the appearance of somebody. That is aesthetic attraction for me. That is a really big part of my attraction to someone. But it can also be platonic, it can be intellectual, it can be loads of things, and I am definitely attracted to people by intellectuality. If they're intellectual, if I can have really deep conversations, really conversation in the sense that I can build myself from that experience. I appreciate it a lot, and I tend to find those people after those interactions, after I learn that they are really intellectual people. I find them more attractive on an aesthetic level as well, like those are connected in some way. So anyway, I am not sexually attracted. I am also aroase, so like aromantic, asexual. And the aromantic part is that when I see someone, I don't crave romantic relationships in the typical sense of the word. So might be in a changing state now as well, but up until now I described it that what I want is a queer platonic relationship, which is not romantic and not like traditional. It's somewhere between, everyone describes it differently, it's somewhere between platonic and romantic. There are like signs of or activities both in platonic relationships and in romantics, and they just queer platonic relationship just merges them, and it varies from relationship to relationship. Some leave out some aspects of romantic relationship but bring some others into the queer platonic relationship. Some leave out others, so it can be a mixture. It relies 100% upon communication between the parties. So some queer platonic QPR is the short word for it. So some QPR contains like hugging or kissing or even making out, but nothing else. Some have, I believe that some have like a sexual part to it, but not romantic. So it's totally like custom made, like build your bear kind of situation. So I always wanted a QPR, and I thought that. So that's the thing. That is the core of the video, is that I always knew that a large amount of these feelings that I described as being asexual, aegosexual, actually, like that was a sub-label, and aromantic. I knew that some part of it was definitely me having really deep trust issues. I knew that, and I have trouble with intimacy. I don't know if it results of my autism as well, or just it's just some upbringing, it's some trauma. It just is, like, it's a fact. I have trouble with physical touch, I always had, and I always had trouble with intimacy in every level, be it emotional or physical. So I knew that definitely shapes my experience. But even though I knew that, I still describe myself as aegosexual and asexual and aromantic. And aegosexual means that the idea of having someone that close to you, even emotionally and more like physically, like making out or kissing or doing sensual stuff, even sexual stuff, is exciting for me. Like, I like the idea of it. I would love it if I could do it, but I cannot. Like, in practice, I 100% not want to do it, just in my imagination. And also there's like a thing, vicarious attraction, which means you experience sexual or romantic or any type of attraction through the eyes of somebody else. So that means that that is the reason why I visit AO3 that much, because you have two characters that you know very well. You watch the whole series with them. You know the underlying motives, their emotional state, their feelings for each other. And when those two characters come together in a fic, be it sexual or not sexual, I hated fics. I do not ever read fics when it's like your name. You have to, you are the one party in the story. I feel sick physically. I cannot read them. Thus being aegosexual. So what I like in AO3 is that you get to be, like, you get to experience the point of view of one character interacting with the other character, but none of those characters are you. At least that's how I read my fics. And you know how one feels for the other, so you can feel that way for the other as well. You are looking through someone else's eyes, and you are feeling someone else's attraction towards the other one, and that excites me. Like, I get to be that person for that period of time. That is how I experience attraction. And let's get back to the so basically, in theory and in a vicarious attraction situation, I enjoyed it very much. I am a hopeless, not romantic, because I'm not romantic, but like, I'm hopeless in a sense that I feel these things very deeply. that is probably the reason why I'm so afraid of it to actually happen. But I feel things really deeply, meaning that I would kill to experience that rush of adrenaline, that sensual, because there's also a attraction called sensual attraction, when you just want to touch the other without the sexual underlying motive. But like the sensual part of making out, the nerve endings, the feelings your body gets during those things, like also it's a video about asexuality, but I want to warn you that if you have a problem with sexual stuff or explaining sexual stuff or feelings involved in that, maybe don't watch this video. I have a little bit of like how do you call it, averse, like sex averse, because there are levels to that as well. Like one is just like is not interested in sex but doesn't mind hearing about it or like seeing it or something, and there are sex averse and sex not there's a level to that as well. Like they just cannot deal with that, they do not want to hear about it, they get absolutely like sick and tired and not wanting to do anything with it. And I think I'm a like middle ground of that. I don't like to see it on TV. For the longest time I thought myself a creep, and I'm really glad that it isn't the case, because I always loved MLM relationships, like man loving man, in plots, in movies, in just like kissing, making out, being together. I always loved that. But but I thought that I was a girl. Like what is this weird? I know that it's a pipeline. Like most trans men experiences it. But why am I as a girl attracted to, or like am I fetishizing them? What is wrong with me that I want two men kissing on my screen while I'm not a man? That felt really weird, and I felt weird about it for the longest time. And well, I'm a man, into men as so not just men, but I'm into men as well. Like aesthetically, I do not give a single flying fuck about what the gender of the person is. I'm basically not sexual, but pen. I don't know how to describe myself, because I cannot say pansexual because I'm not that sexually attracted, and I'm not pan romantic because I'm not like romantically attracted, but like pan. Let's just say pan. So I do not care about the other person's gender when it comes to like aesthetic attraction or intellectual attraction or anything like that. Like I do not give a single flying fuck. You can be anyone and identify as anything. If I find you attractive, I find you attractive. That's it. But I'm attracted to men as well. So when it comes to like not sexual attraction but sexual involvement or like making out, not sexual involvement doesn't mean penetration. It just means you want to have like more than sensual attraction and relationship, and more than platonic. I think that what makes your belly flip, that is like a sexual involvement. So if I imagine myself being sexually involved in any situation, I think it's all masculine, like either transmasc or like trans man or like cis man. I do not see myself in a sexual activity with a girl, but that also might change, because for a lot of trans men and transmasc person, they realized that the only reason they were afraid or not like comfortable with a female presenting body in bed was because their own insecurities about their own body. And once they do not look like a girl anymore, hence titty chop off and fat redistribution and growing a dick, or actually having bottom surgery, that they are no longer afraid to take someone to bed who has a female body. So yeah, that may be just it. I got a little off track, but I think this video will be all over the place, to be honest. So what I was trying to say is that I want to experience that. I really enjoy reading about it, and if it's male on male action in media, I really do enjoy the making out part. Like I said, the nerve endings. Like when someone kisses you in certain spots and triggers like erogen zones, I imagine that to be a very overwhelming experience. Probably because my sensory sensitivity, like I imagine that those things for me would feel 100 times more electrified, or like, I don't know, bigger than it is for a normal person, especially if your partner is someone you really trust and you really know. And for me, definitely, like, I do not see myself, like I said, severe trust issues. I would never allow someone to touch me unless I knew them pretty good. So still asexual, like I said, like it is not like I am not into hookup culture. I couldn't do it. Maybe I would be into it if I could do it, but I cannot do it. So that's basically what I was writing about here. Like that, yeah. In theory, that is really hot to me, and I like to read about it or like see it because I would like to experience it. And also the hygiene part, like that may be a neurodivergent thing as well. Like I know that passion in the moment is like big, but I cannot see myself kissing someone in places that they ate with the stuff before, or like drank, and the saliva, it's like unhygienic. I know that I shouldn't think of it in that way, but that is just unhygienic. Not even thinking about, like, they peed out of the stuff. Like, even if they peed and pooped out of those entrances and outrances, even if not today, but like in their whole life, basically, I know that soap exists and showers exist. I do know that. But, and when they are having sex, like penetrative or like oral sex, after a long time, a long day, and they didn't have a shower, how are you, I am not touching that with anything, especially not with my mouth, when you spend the whole day. I know how it is. I spend the whole day and it's just like your private part is, no matter what private part you have, it's in that underwear, and you pee out of it, and you use like toilet paper. Even if you use a bidet, I do not believe that you use a bidet every single time, but even if you do, that is just, I cannot stomach it. That's just for me. I know that there are like ways to deal with it. Like, you can have a very thorough shower every time before you engage in a sexual act. That probably would be the case with me, though, because like no other way. But yeah, anyway. I also think that state, when you're in a sexual situation with someone, be it a make out or like a penetrative something, I think it's a very, very vulnerable situation, and that is where my trust issues are like coming up like a shield and a wall. I know that in the throes of passion, your instincts take over, and I fear tremendously that those it's hard to talk about it, especially in English, because like I haven't said those things and like words out loud in English ever. I don't talk about it with anyone ever, not even in Hungarian. But your instincts and your desires take over, and no matter how cautious you are in real life and how well built up your emotional and physical walls are, those, I think, would crash over like waves, and they would make you end up in a very vulnerable situation, very open and bare, like not just physically nude, but like stripped from all your defenses, and allowing someone to see you and do stuff with you or to you in that situation. I think it requires a tremendous amount of trust for the other person. And that is why I say that I cannot imagine myself getting involved with anything like that with someone I do not know very thoroughly. Like, I cannot imagine handling the control to someone that I don't know that well. And I for the longest time, I thought that I will never trust anyone enough to hand them that control. Like, I am not a control freak in the traditional sense of the word, but I definitely have a very big problem with being vulnerable and being weak or without defenses and without my walls, and that just stresses the hell out of me, being that strip naked. And but that is literally just like, I don't know, asexual talk. I will talk about the trans stuff in a minute. Yes, that I'm just reading off my paper here. So yeah, that stuff that happened is that I have a thing called alexithymia, which means that I am not good with my emotions, identifying my emotions. So I always functioned in a way, and for the longest time I didn't know that was not how everybody felt, but I learned that it wasn't, that I feel something in my body, a reaction in my body, and I have to play a guessing game that what incited that. So I always have like, my stomach hurts in a way that I know that it is stress induced. Like, I know that something is bothering me and I feel like I'm about to vomit, or like I'm on the edge of a panic attack or an anxiety attack. Like, what caused it? Because like I didn't notice that I was getting stressed or like really fearful until my body reacted in a way that something is wrong, because my body is telling me that something is wrong, but I didn't notice the thought or like the troubles in my mind, like it always functioned like this. And even when I have the bodily sensation, I still do not feel the feeling. Like before I went abroad for a seasonal work I did for 6 weeks in Denmark, I obviously was excited to go, but I was not fearful of going. I was excited in a positive way of the word. And even though I thought that I was super chill and just like positively, like a little bit of jittery, the day before I had a diarrhea real bad, and I felt sick the whole day. And there was no biological explanation to that. Like, I knew that this was because my body, my mind, presumably is stressing the hell out, but I felt completely calm. I always did it at exams as well. Like, I went in and my hand was shaking and my voice was shaking, and when I tried to find the stress, the emotion, I felt a chilling calm. My mind thought that we're totally calm. We do not stress about it at all. It wasn't even because, I know this thing that I have to give an oral presentation about so good, so it cannot go bad. But sometimes it was like that, sometimes it wasn't. I still always felt really even. And at the same time, my body was going crazy. So that was always the case. And it probably is because the autism I learned. So what happened here is that I felt in my body that if I think about getting hot with somebody, I feel sick, physically sick. If I imagine myself, not someone else in the fake, but myself in the real world getting with somebody, I can feel like on the verge of a meltdown or a breakdown. Like I knew that I couldn't be able to stay in that situation. I would just, I don't know, push the other away or just run away or something. Like, I knew that this could not happen. And so I knew that I wouldn't allow anyone to touch my body, to see my body, to have control, even with my consent, control over my body. I didn't even like or want other people to think that my body is desirable. Like, I always I loved it when people thought that my style was good, but any comment on my body was off limit. And I, even when I was presenting, I thought myself as a girl, and I hated. But obviously, every woman hates being objectified, but they like compliments. I hated them. I always thought that they cannot see my figure, they cannot see my butt, my waist, my anything ever, because then they would just see me as that, and they would not care about what I have to say and what's in my mind. They would be too fixated on how I look. So that was always the case. And I thought that, yeah, that means that I'm asexual then, to the deepest. Like, asexual in a way that I am not only not interested in sex, I'm obviously averse of sex. Like, I really do not want to engage in it at all, just in theory, but not in practice at all anyway. And I thought that, yeah, obviously, like I said in the last video, there's two columns. There's asexuality and trans. There's that I'm trans, and those feelings obviously in my body exist because I'm asexual. And I think that since I'm on T, those things are changing. And I never realized that that thing that I wanted and nobody to do nothing with my body, not even look at it, not even touch it, not even being as close, that throughout clothes, cuddling with somebody felt like too much. Like I couldn't allow it to anyone, which is weird because I'm a very, I forgot to tell you, but I am a very cuddly person. I do not have the best relationship with my parents. They do not know that I'm trans, and if when they will know, I expect to be cut off from the family. And I've had stuff growing up, okay? But my mom is still my mom, and I still have a close relationship with her. It's very interesting. It's like a mosaic kind of thing. Like, in some things we have a really close relationship, and some things she knows nothing about, and she wouldn't accept it. Like, we have a really like up and down relationship, but not like from time to time. It's more like what comes up as a topic, or like what side of our personalities click or not click with each other. So it's a very interesting thing. But still, my mother and my younger brother are the only two person in the world who I can stomach touching me. And I'm very cuddly, very physically close with my mom. I always hug her. It helps me regulate as well. I also was born 2 months before that I should have. I don't know how you call it in English, but yeah, I was supposed to come in May, and I came in March, the 7th of March. So, maybe the neurodivergent thing, but I regulate myself with pressure and with hugs, and she is the only person that I regularly like hug, and I want to just lay next to her and being embraced. And also my younger brother is very touchy-feely as well, and we were the two siblings that grew up together the most, at least to me. Like, he's 8 years older than me, and my other two siblings grew up together because they have a 2-year gap between them, but there's like a bigger gap after the two. And when I was born, both of my two other siblings were in university, but my younger brother grew up with me. So I wouldn't say that we have the closest bond, but in physically wise, and especially because I said, like, he's really like caring, and he really likes hugs and physical touch as well. Like, that is his love language as well, that I don't mind him hugging me, and he hugs me a lot when he's home, and just like sitting next to him watching the telly or like watching the show, and we just like, shoulder to shoulder, or like, like embracing each other. But I wouldn't typically like go for a hug with him. He always initiates it, but I don't mind. With my mom, I initiate it a lot. So I think those are the two people that I allow it to. And I don't even hug my father. Like, not my other brother, not my I have a sister, another elder sister as well. No one, not my friend, not anyone. I hate it when I have to in Hungary, when you meet with someone that you know, it's not a friend, but it's not a stranger anymore. Then you, if you're a girl, especially, like if you're a boy, you just shake hands, and maybe dab up or something, but mostly shake hands. And when you're a girl, you're expected to hug, just a brief half hug. But I hate them, and I don't like them. And I don't think that that's only because I'm a girl. Maybe as a guy, I would not hate hugs so much, especially when this will be off my chest. But I think I just don't like hugs in general. With people that are not that close to me, like I said, trust issues and intimacy problems and touchy problems. But when I have someone like my mom, who's obviously like not the best match for me, but we knew each other since birth. Like I grew in her belly, so our bond is quite close. If I have that bond with somebody, I am very, very big on physical touch and physical closeness. I love to be close with somebody. So that's why it's interesting that I absolutely loathe the idea of anyone touching me. And I would love the idea if I could build a strong enough connection and strong enough trust with somebody, but I didn't see it happening because it never happened before. I lived 21 years and I don't have really any friends even. Like the people that I meet with don't even get to the criteria of friends, let alone soulmates and like being a partner, like in a not romantic but like a QPR and like sensual or even the sexual stuff. So I just didn't think that it would happen because there's no evidence of it happening. But if I know that it's also in theory that if I meet that special someone, but now that I'm on T, I'm thinking, and the media I'm watching, and two people hooking up or something, now the idea of me in the real world, if I meet that someone who I really trust, that doesn't make me throw up anymore, which is interesting. I know that it doesn't seem like a really big step up, but for me it really is, because I can see myself now being involved with those kind of things. It's still scary as fuck, but I still want to do it, and it still doesn't weird me out if I thinking myself being in that situation. I had to realize that it was 100% because the changing my body. Like I realized that if the other person sees me as a man with a man's body and not as a female, I am a hell of a lot more comfortable. And the reason that I didn't want anyone to see or touch or just think of my body was because I had body dysphoria so fucking high level, and I didn't know about it because it didn't register to me. I saw the signs, I saw how I corrected it with clothes and concealed it with clothes all the time, but I thought that this is just my style. I obviously don't want to show off my hips that much, but because of my alexithymia, it never registered that it was that much of an issue. And now that it's slowly and slightly changing, even the slightest change in my appearance is producing so much of a change, because all those stuff was not connected to asexuality, or not just asexuality and my trust issues and everything, but it was mostly body dysphoria due to being trans. And now that I see myself, and if I think that that's someone, obviously that's someone who I trust that much to allow him to do that, or like them, to do that, that means that they will accept me 100% as who I am, and they will see me as a man. So that's not an issue there. So if I meet that special someone, I hate it, because I know that asexual people always like, oh, you just haven't met the right boy or girl yet, and it's not like that. And for those asexual people who are really, they are rightfully sex averse, and not because of what I went through, not because they're trans. Even if they're trans, they might be sex averse because they are sex averse. I just mislabeled it, and I do not want to take any legitimacy away from the asexual community. I am part of it. I am proud of it, and I want to support them. And I would hate if this would cause anyone to think that their experience is not valid. They are 100% valid, but my experience was not because of that. And it was so strange to to realize that it was massive body dysphoria, and I didn't know about it until now. Now that if I imagine someone looking at me and seeing me as how in movies two cis gay men see each other and interact in a makeout session with each other, if they see me as that, then I'm not comfortable, but I'm comfortable enough to be in that position to. It's interesting. I still see myself more of a dominant one, like a top, more than a bottom, and I think that is also because being a bottom just feels still too vulnerable and too, I don't know, it offers the other the chance to exploit me. Obviously I wouldn't get with someone who would do that, but it just still isn't comfortable enough for me. So I would rather have like a top, being a top in that situation and do other things to that other person, like doing things to the other person rather than receiving it. I love the idea. That's the reason I'm reading this stuff and I'm watching this stuff, like causing, not even causing, because you always mostly you cause troubles or problems, but you don't cause good things. I think at least in Hungary there's the distinction between the two things. But when you make the other feel so good just by doing stuff and know where to touch and where to kiss and what sensations to make the other person experience, it's just amazing, and I would love to be able to do that. And now that I place myself in a man's role rather than a women's role, I think I am comfortable enough. I would be, in the perfect scenario, I would be comfortable enough to do that and maybe receive some of it. And I think I know that it will change with the changes that are coming with testosterone. I think I will be more secure in this new thing, and maybe my opinion will change with it as well. So I just wanted to say that the things that you experience, sometimes they are not the result of the thing that you think they are, and it was actually just my body, and I don't know. It's a long video, I know, but if it helped anybody who's asexual, who's trans, I don't think you have to be asexual for if you're trans. You're afraid of getting into like involved in sexual acts because obviously you have like either bottom dysphoria or like body dysphoria, and yeah. But if you're asexual, that just adds to the mix, and if you're autistic, that adds to the mix as well. So yeah, like I said, I'm not that comfortable about talking about these things on social media, like on YouTube. I know everyone always says that, oh, you shouldn't say personal information about you on YouTube, but you cannot make this kind of content if you don't, I believe. So yeah, I think that was all I wanted to say. If there will be any updates on that, I will tell you. One more aspect to it that I can experiment with now, even though I don't have a partner or anything even close to that, not even a friend, is like masturbation. So that changed a lot. I didn't. The same thing happened. I didn't know that I had that much of a bottom dysphoria. I thought that, yeah, of course I'm asexual. I'm not interested in downstairs. I don't usually do anything with it. Like I don't know if it's TMI or not. This whole video is TMI, to be honest. I touch myself like once a month or once in 2 months. Sometimes 2 whole months. I just skipped it. So it was like once a month or like once in 2 to 3 months, and that was it. And I felt immense shame after it, always. I didn't know why. I still kind of do. I am still working on it. I don't know what exactly is the reason. But I definitely felt a lot more shameful about it. I know it's also taboo, especially in like our household or like in Hungary. It's not that developed of a country and developed of a mindset. You cannot talk about it with anyone. even in your friend circle, it's a taboo. And I know it's partially why I feel like shit about it afterwards. But and I also think that giving up the control, even if you're alone, your instincts, your desires take over your logical thinking, and you just lose yourself for that some minutes. And I think I always feel uneasy about it afterwards, that I was out of control of my own state of mind that I'm used to. So yeah, that increased as well. Obviously, ups your sex drive, and I was a bit, about it, like uneasy about it. Like, I'm asexual. I really don't like to masturbate. No. So it's not even just sex with other people. I don't even like to masturbate. And what if T changes that? It's sensitive down that. Obviously, you're gonna do it more often. But what I didn't expect was that, because it's changing, because it's actually like a tiny dick down there. I didn't know that I had bottom dysphoria, but I definitely did, because now it doesn't cause me that much of a trouble. Like, I don't only masturbate more because I'm just more sensitive and my sex drive is higher because of I also think that I don't shy away from that area of myself anymore, because it doesn't look like a vagina anymore. It looks more like what a cis male person would have. So yeah, that obviously changed, and if that could change drastically, then I'm pretty sure that those sensual sexual stuff would and could change. But obviously, experimenting with self-pleasure is a lot more easier than finding someone with this level of trust issues that I have, and like insecurities, that I trust enough to do this stuff with. So it's only in theory, but in theory, when I think about it, in theory to practice, I'm a lot more relaxed. So I really hope this was helpful, because if it wasn't, that I just talked overly intimate information for about 40 minutes for nothing. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't even know how to say goodbye from the topic. So you won't have your peace out now. You just have a bye.